So as I said in my Yokai Monsters trilogy review in the previous video, I told you guys I was gonna review another trilogy that is very popular with Dai, although this one is more obscured as of late. But you can still find the movies on YouTube. That is, and I feel criminal. I've always heard about this character, but it's been criminal that I've just now recently seen it all, and I'm going to do my review of the entire trilogy. And that is Daimajin. So, Daimajin is a amazing trilogy, I will say right out the gate. I know a lot of people on here have talked about, like, Gamera and, of course, Godzilla, Ultraman, but I feel like in the shuffle, and this is under Dai, who did do Gamera, and now Daimajin is under Katakawa, much like Yokai Monsters and Gamera. And also, Daimajin does appear in Yokai War, the new Yokai Monsters movie, which I guess which makes sense because, well, we'll get into that. So, Daimajin has always been a movie I've heard about. Like, that's the thing, like, I've heard about and seen, like, images of Daimajin, but I never knew where he came from. What movie studio was he from? I didn't realize it was Dai until recently. So, the fact that we had Daimajin, Daimajin's always been a character I've always wanted to know about. And when I finally saw the trilogy, I understand why. Like, it is a brilliant trilogy of films that came out in the 60s. The era, which was the big boom for kaiju. Like, we had Gamera, we had Godzilla, we had Ultraman going on, we had Redman, we had Zone Fighter, we had, the height of Super Sentai. This was the 60s. A lot of people seem to forget how much the 60s were a massive boom in Japan for kaiju and tokusatsu. And I feel like in the shuffle of it all, Daimajin was kind of lost in that shuffle. So Daimajin, much like Yokai Monsters, all three movies are really their own film. Even though they aren't really intrinsically tied, it's all kind of like their own film. So it's much like with Yokai Monsters, where you could literally watch any of these movies and you would not be lost. Like, you could literally just pick and choose one of these movies, even if they are called, like, Return of Daimajin or, Wrath of Daimajin. You could literally watch all of these films out of order, wouldn't change a thing. So it's kind of like an anthology film in a way. It's almost like, does kind of feel like a, it does really feel like there is like a anthology storytelling we're doing here. But yeah. So Daimajin is let's talk about the character himself. Daimajin is a kaiju unlike any other. He is literally a dark spirit mountain god who comes down every film to kick ass on the evil, corrupt warlords. That's the other thing about these films. These films are set in the feudal era of Japan. Yeah, these movies are set directly with feudal era Japan, which you hardly ever see. You hardly ever see a kaiju film that isn't set in present day. And I really like that. I think it adds to a really cool kind of element to these films, is that these films are all set in like the feudal era of Japan. There's very little tech, because what would you do if a fucking 50-foot, 100-foot monster just started trouncing around your castle? Jack shit is what you're gonna do. Now, Daimajin is so vastly different from the other kaiju we see. He is a giant samurai oni. It is beautiful suitimation. Probably better than the Gamera we had at the time. Like, there was clearly a budget Dai put in these films. Because these aren't like... Even though, yes, Daimajin is under the same wheelhouse as Gamera, clearly the budget went to Daimajin. Because these are beautifully shot films. Like, there's some beautiful cinematography in these films. And the suitimation, top fucking notch. Just top fucking notch. Anyway, sorry I lost my train of thought. I had to take care of something. Anyway, so this film, the first film, deals with a lord named Lord Samonosuke, who has overthrown his lord and is now hunting the prince and princess of a kingdom he's overthrown. while at the same time, the lord of a samurai of the previous lord is protecting them along with his aunt, who is a priestess of the mountain god Daimajin. Daimajin doesn't really show up in this film, but it does have this fairy tale feel to it. This is a very somber tale. This is a beautiful... It does really feel like a feudal fairy tale. Like, this could easily fit in Inuyasha. Really, like, if you watch this movie, you'll be thinking, alright, so when did Kagome and Inuyasha show up, right? But the thing is, even though we don't get a lot of Daimajin until, like, the last 15-20 minutes of the film, his presence is constantly felt. And it is, even on its own, it's a masterclass of samurai films as well. The suitimation, like I was talking about, is brilliant. Also, what I think sets the Daimajin suit apart from the others is that this suit really does like have an advantage in that you can see the suit actor's eyes and how you can see Daimajin emote, even though you don't see his mouth move. You can clearly see like him emoting through the eyes, like just the sheer anger. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but dude, Lord Samanosuke gets it good in this movie. Like, you're going to hate that bastard the entire movie, but the moment he faces Daimajin, it's so worth it. It is so fucking worth it. Yeah. So the first film, even though there's a lot of kaiju action, wait till the end. It is totally worth it, and it is a beautiful film throughout. Then we get to Return of Daimajin, which is another beautiful film, but it is really more of the same. It's more of evil lord overthrows a kingdom, there's shit going on, but Daimajin's action is more pronounced. Like, this is a more action-centric film. Like, this is a more action-centric film. You see more of Daimajin, and there's some, again, cinematography is beautiful. Like, I'm surprised no one talks about the cinematography in terms of kaiju films, but this really is a showcase of it. I really love the action sequences. I think it is kind of a story we've done before, but then again, you can make an argument that a lot of movies have done that, where it's like, yeah, we've done this before, that's what's so fucked up. But that doesn't matter. You can make that argument for literally every kaiju film, or like 90% of Hollywood films today. So, I don't mind. It is definitely like I would say the weakest of the three, but that's not saying much. It's only weak because it literally just did the same story over again, but with more Daimajin, which I'm totally at peace with. And then finally we get to the third film, Wrath of Daimajin. So this film actually focuses on 4 kids who are trying to save their families from an evil lord who has enslaved them. Stop me if you heard that one before. But here's the thing, before anyone goes, kiddies! Don't worry, they're actually really good. These 4 kids, it's almost like a Stand By Me or Goonies kind of thing, where the kid actors in here really carry the film on an emotional level. There's some beautiful, heartbreaking moments with these children. And when we get to the Daimajin stuff, it's so worth it. It is so brilliantly worth it. The thing is that Daimajin, even though these are his movies, it's not really about him, even though he is kind of a focal point. He is more of the story. He is part of the story of itself, but it is more of his actions that are, and his effects that are felt. Like, it's more about the people who Daimajin is, like, the world of Daimajin. He is more of a character in his own film. It's not like in most kaiju films where the monster is like constantly there. And Daimajin is constantly felt, but he is not the star. He is more of the supporting role and more of the punishment that is coming for these evildoers. It's a beautiful film, and yeah, I kind of wish, like, hey, Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, Shin Daimajin? I mean, you clearly give more of a shit. Come on, Katakawa. You clearly give more of a shit about Daimajin than you do Gamera, which sucks. But, literally, you show that you want to do Daimajin stuff because there was a TV show that you produced with Daimajin, which was weird. I haven't seen it, but I have seen clips of it. It's kind of fucking weird. And you had him show up in Yokai Warfare and cross over with yokai monsters. So, literally, just approach Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi, approach them and go, hey, Shin Daimajin. Shin Daimajin. Come on. I need it. I need this. Because I love these movies. Why did it take me so fucking long to get to these fucking movies? Ah! Anyway. So, there you go. There's me gushing about Daimajin. So if you guys have seen the film, or have not already, you guys can probably still find the movies on YouTube. I know the first movie is on here, and I think the other two sequels are, but those are dubbed. But yeah, these films are beautiful. They're great feudal era films. I think these are some of the best kaiju films that Dai did, because yeah, there was the Gamera films, but Showa Gamera. Yeah, so if you were looking for like a new kind of take on like in the Showa era of kaiju films, go check out the Daimajin trilogy. But anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of Daimajin if you've seen it? Anyway, just comment below, let me know. Once again, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon to see exclusive videos and exclusive content over on Patreon. And if you haven't already, hit the fourth tier. If you hit the fourth tier, if you hit the fourth tier, you can send me videos to do here on YouTube. You can request videos for me to do here on YouTube, and like reviews or anything like that. Anyway, other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.